woke man, does whatever a woke man can, swings around, doing stuff, hoping everyone doesn't make a fuss to look out. Here comes the woke man. Yep, Marvel's slash Disney's new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man breaks down to being just your friendly neighborhood woke man. That's it. The time of this video, we're 5 episodes in. I've watched the 5 episodes, and I was gonna do episode by episode, but honest, but it just didn't seem feasible because of my overall views of it. So I'm gonna do instead my top 5, not 10, my top 5 takeaways from the 5 episodes so far of Your Friendly Neighborhood Walkman. And you'll understand why I'm saying that, why I've decided to call it Walkman based on what happens and based on my overall views of this. So without further ado, let's dive right in with number 1. Awful animation. Now, I said this on the beginning. I thought maybe if I watched it, it would kind of grow on me, but it doesn't. The animation quality is terrible. There's no other way to put it. They kind of went with this weird comic book type 3D, basically like comic book style over 3D animation style, and it just doesn't look good. People's movements look clunky, their facial expression when they're talking and thing just seems weird. And the way that people overall look just doesn't work at all. It really and truly doesn't work at all. I don't know what they were thinking with this animation style, but clearly they missed the mark really, really badly with this. Really, really badly they missed the mark with this. And it's not something to say that, well, it's not so much a big look at it because it's always there. You kind of always have to look at it and realize, yeah, it just does not get any better. Like I said, I thought maybe if I just kept watching it, I would kind of grow accustomed to the way it looks. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look good at all. It just screams, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what in God's name I'm setting up to do here. It just does not look great. Really and truly doesn't. On the number 2, the origin changed and it does not make much sense. Okay, so how this basically starts off is that Peter Parker and his Aunt May, because they're kind of basing this around the MCU version of Peter Parker, but it's taking place in a different universe. Because when he's going to school, right, he's going to his first day at Midtown High, and this is some really impressive school. All of a sudden, a portal opens up in the sky, and then Doctor Strange comes through, and he's fighting some kind of symbiotic alien thing, and that ends up destroying the school, right? And then there's this spider that comes through the same interdimensional portal, and it ends up biting Peter, right? And then he collapses. Well, what happens is that the spider comes through. Strange captures this kind of weird venom-looking symbiote thing that he was fighting and leaves, leaving the spider behind. The spider bites Peter. He collapses. And then the spider crawls onto somebody's back and they pick it up and leave. So it already opening up there because, the possibility that somebody else got bitten by the spider and all of this nonsense. And right after Peter gets bitten, he passes. Suddenly, they just cut to months later, and suddenly he's swinging around in a really bad-looking Spider-Man outfit, and that's it. That's the whole origin that you got there. It's the whole intent, you see, because I said before, I say again, the multiverse ruins everything. And the fact that there's this multiverse spider that bit you, you could tell they're trying to set up some kind of multiversal nonsense there, but it just doesn't work. Not everything needs to be multiversal. Not everything needs to be trolling, all kind of thing, and you didn't even do anything to try and establish this. Have him get bitten by the spider, collapse, cut to months later, and bam, suddenly he's swinging around and all of that. That was it. That was the whole origin, and it doesn't work. It doesn't make much sense because the whole interdimensional spider thing, at least interdimensional, multiverse spider that bit me, and I suddenly I have powers and spider I'm going up. So they open up, it was really do something else. They just not everything needs to have this crap crammed into it. Simple story, and you go with it, and you're done. That's it. It's really all you need to do. But then as I talk about how the original stuff doesn't make sense, that moves on to number 3, the characters and the wokeness. Because this is where it really starts to again. I talked about the first 2 already about, the awful animation, just strap and the origin story, but the characters and what they're trying to do here is where the wokeness comes in hard. Because take Peter Parker, Spider-Man, for instance, right? In this iteration, Uncle Ben died before any of this thing happened with him getting bitten by spider, like gone. And as we kind of the same thing like what they did in the MCU. And I had a problem with that. Cutting out Uncle Ben is a fundamental part of what makes Peter Parker become Spider-Man, because that's when he comes to realize, with great power comes great responsibility. But that's gone. He's just suddenly this person who's doing this thing. And I'm not saying that he can't be a good person. When you take away that, you've taken away a fundamental part of what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. Now there are people who will say that in the early iteration of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, when he got the powers, he was kind of a jerk and kind of arrogant. That isn't necessarily true. You see, Peter was always a good person, but he was bullied because he was a nerd. He was bullied for that. So when he got these powers now, you understand me? He got a little cocky, a little arrogant, because he suddenly had the ability to do things like that. And then, when he went to do the wrestling, and then the guy kind of shafted him, and then he didn't stop the rubber, only for the guy to go back later and kill his Uncle Ben. He realized that he needed to do something different. He needed to change, he needed to grow as a person and take that responsibility of the powers that he has and do what's best with it. So when you take away, then suddenly have him be this person who's suddenly doing everything good and because the original Peter, he didn't have any kind of friends. That was the thing about it. He didn't have friends. Like I said, he was basically a science nerd getting bullied and that. But in this situation, he suddenly has all these friends and everything like that and all of that, and he's a good person. I shouldn't say okay, let me rephrase. He was always a good person, but the way you set it up now, I just kind of cut out a fundamental part of his growth as a character. And this is an issue. This is an issue. And then you go on to like other characters like May, who basically the base of the MCU, May as well. And you kind of get this, but just that she doesn't know about it, but she's just kind of there, not really getting much iteration out of her. So you have next his friend Nico Minoru, right? And basically everybody in this is based off of some other character, because Nico Minoru is part of the originally she's part of the Runaways, but in this iteration, Nico Minoru, right? And they have to make an effort, and this is the thing about it when we talk about the wokeness. They have to shove it in your face. It's not like, okay, we're telling this story and this is an element of it. No, they have to shove it in your face, and you have to absolutely, and the screen at you, watch this. No, because they make a point of letting it be known in this episode, because you see a part where Peter is there at her place on Cantic, and you have this part where you must know that Nico is in a foster home and she has foster brothers, because you see her foster mother coming in and it's like Nico, one of your foster brothers is doing this, can you help me? I'm like, why do you need to do that? Why? If you're in a home with somebody who was taking you in the foster person or whatever, Nobody's gonna walk around saying things like, I'm a foster mom or your foster brothers. You could just say one of your brothers is doing this thing because you're trying to build a family. That's what you're trying to do. But no, they have to make a point to let you know that this person is in a foster home and they have foster brothers because they want to push the fact that, it have children in foster care. And this is the problem. And when you get to Nico as a person, no, they turn her into this typical, okay, she's kind of this wannabe kind of goth person that's not friend, and her friend is Peter, and they're kind of outsiders or like that. And then they try to play it off like, I don't know, maybe she might like him, but she may not like him honestly, or she might be kind of kind of bi or queer, whatever the hell it is you want to do. I don't know. But also there's this thing about, oh, she's she's like one of these typical I don't trust rich people, I don't trust big corporations. Um I might be an anarchist kind of nonsense and stuff like that. And then you also have her, which is kind of whole thing about, she's Peter's friend, but she kind of gets jealous if he has friends with anybody else, stuff like that. It's really just, I don't get it. And then you get to Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, is gonna be Tombstone in the he's captain of the football team. And one of the most positive guys you will ever meet. He's always so positive and thing the other one. But then again, another point of what they try to do in this, when he leaves school, he has to travel by train to go all the way back home and all this stuff like that. And they keep putting these instances in it. Like he's on the train and this woman is there with her child and she won't sit next to him because because he's a black dude. And when he's walking down the street, the police car is there behind him, watching him. The white police officer watching the car before him because he keep right up on like, this is what happens to him every day. Like that. And then when he gets home now, it's like this whole thing where, his family is kind of struggling, the mother and father. And like, okay, it's not always going to be this awful people. You understand? I'm not saying that they have to be filthy rich or anything like that. But they could be getting by with his brother, Dre, who apparently goes off and joins this 110th Street gang for some reason. You never find out why he joins the gang. You never find out any reason he may have for joining the gang, anything like that, to say like, well, I don't know. Maybe he was in the, maybe he joined the gang, and because he had problems at home, maybe he felt like his brother was getting most of the attention, and he look at me. No, he just apparently joins this gang because he's a little idiot. And what do they do? I don't know, because he got in trouble. The police brought him home because apparently they were vandalizing some building, and then he decides to sneak out and go back to the gang. And then Lonnie goes there and he's talking to the guy who runs the gang, Big Donovan, and he tells him, my brother, for me, I'll stay and let him go. So he ends up in the gang. But Big Donovan was saying to Lonnie that, he made a lot of money off of him, because he's a football star, a captain of the football team, and kind of thing. So he would play football, and like most likely he bet on him and he won. So common sense would dictate that you would want him to continue to play football, continue to make you money, but no. He doesn't seem to care, nor want him to be in school, wanting to make money, nothing. He wants him to come to his gang location where apparently the rest of them just sit around and do nothing all day and try to pretend like they all don't have mommy issues. I've never been in a gang, but I suspect you would do something. And then you're always talking about, this turf and look at it and all this nonsense. And then they get into this fight with some gang called the Scorpions. And Lonnie kind of saves him from getting stabbed, and then he kind of gives him the name Tombstone. Like, oh wow, he got his criminal name. I don't even know. I don't even know. And then, Lonnie is dating this girl, Pearl Pangan, or whatever the other name is, and she's kind of like Peter's crush, but she's dating him. And she's just always kind of there, but she's also another superhero in other Marvel comics and like that. But she's kind of there, and I don't trying to set her up as Mary Jane, but they're not having much luck with that at all. It's really not working out. So then we get to the elephant in the room, the Osborns. And there's no other way to put this other than the fact that, Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn were race swapped because they were race swapped. That's it. There's no other, well, we want another. No, no, you did it because that's what you wanted to do, and we all saw it. We all know it. You race swap them because you needed to race swap them. Like even Norman Osborn, for instance, you race swap him and try to basically turn him into like Peter's mentor, because he literally finds out Peter is Spider-Man in like 2 seconds, because apparently some people are stupid enough to change into their costume right where security camera is. Finds out that, and then he insists on helping him, design some suits for him and all kind of that. He goes through, he has this different suit and it's just really ridiculous for some reason. Then he eventually gives him this white and black suit that I find just looks stupid. If it was like a one-off suit, fine, but I find the white and black suit just looks stupid. You could have done something different, but I find it looks stupid. And that's it. They keep trying to push him like he's this big, like he's this Tony Stark type mentor to Spider-Man, and that's it. And then you get to Harry Osborn, the most effeminate looking black man I've seen in a long time. Right? When when Spider-Man first meets Harry Osborn, he's being chased by some guys who apparently these 3 guys apparently want to mug him. And these 3 guys look like they don't even have the strength to leave their house. Honestly. I don't know who told anybody in animation that, this is how criminals are supposed to look, but for some reason, that's what they thought. And then literally in like 2 seconds again, he finds out Peter is Spider-Man, because when Peter shows up there, and that's it. And then they go through this whole thing about, Harry and this and that, trying to, and I just think where he literally drops Peter to school in his car. And everybody's all, oh, that's Harry Osborn, and oh, that car is so cool. If you have that car, why exactly were you being chased through the streets by 3 of the biggest, weird-looking, possibly anorexic people I've seen in a long time? Why? Because they just keep trying to put these things in there and act like you're supposed to be okay with it. I don't even get it, honestly. We also have the fact that they have race and gender swapped Dr. Curt Connors into Carla Connors. And again, they keep making a point to shove these things in your face. She is missing her right arm, right? And they keep emphasizing it like it's not something to stop. Every time you say she's walking around and you see the fact that she's missing this arm is proudly shown. She doesn't have like a coat or something covering it, or even better, since you work at Oscorp and you want a top face inside or something like that, why not just make a mechanical arm for yourself? You could still go to the story of her wanting her original arm back, but she has this mechanical arm. But no, they keep wanting to shove it into your face. And listen, this person has lost their arm. Look at this. It's right there. You see that? Don't miss it. Watch this. This is what you need to focus on. Look at that. And so they go in. So throwing a bunch of other people into there and all that stuff. You have like Amadeus Cho in there for some reason. You even have this girl from Wakanda who's there, because apparently nobody has told people Wakanda doesn't have to be in everything. Oh God, and literally everything. You put everybody from Wakanda into this. This person from Wakanda. This person from Wakanda. Wakanda. Oh God, man, give it a rest now. It's all ruin things. And they just keep doing these stuff and then acting like you're supposed to just sit there and be okay with it. It's really ridiculous. You even have some of the criminals and stuff there getting tech from somebody turns out to be Dr. Octopus, but he isn't Dr. Octopus. This is arrogant, so and so who's smart, but he should be better than Tony Stark and Norman Osborn. Well, then try building a company and do that instead. No, no, you are selling your tech to criminals so you can make money to build your company. If you are that smart to build these things, why don't you just patent them? Why don't you just patent them and make money? No. Instead, you are selling it to criminals. God, it's so stupid, boy. So stupid. You go on now to number 4. And this is something that they keep doing it, because in this thing, like I said, it's based off of the MCU thing, and you see them. It is in a different universe, but what is that? They're talking about the whole Sokovia Accords, all that kind of thing. Something that they need to stop doing. The MCU is not the main Marvel universe. This is something that they need to stop doing, because this is what ruined What If, and this is what they're going to do to ruin everything else. Yes, people came in, they had a lot of fans come in based on the MC. We're not denying that fact. But that does not mean you have to keep going around and shoving the MCU down people, so that acting like, the MCU is the be all and end all of everything Marvel. It does not work like that. Marvel has years of stories and stuff to draw on. You could tweak them slightly if you want, but you have enough there to build it, so you don't need to base everything around the MCU. Because when you do that, you damage your entire brand and everything you're trying to do. And then finally, we come down to number 5, the story suffers. I think they had some idea of going in, of what it is they wanted to do with this story. But like I said, they shove too much of this woke nonsense in there and try to shove it down your throat. Understand me? And then act like somehow you're supposed to sit there, watch it, and be okay with it, while they just keep doing it. The story does not seem to matter, doesn't seem to flow. You keep, they're trying to tell something, but you can tell based on what has happened that they don't seem to realize that what they're doing is damaging it more than anything else. The animation is already terrible. You understand me? The characters have been dragged to the point now where they're literally literally become poster child for everybody trying to say some kind of thing about something. And I suspect there's more of that to come. But what exactly is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you're trying to do? So I keep saying, not everything needs to be some kind of based around some kind of something. Marvel has years of stories to tell with Spider-Man that you could have based on. If you wanted to do this as an origin story, you could have told Spider-Man, Peter Parker, learning the ropes, making mistakes here, growing from them. No, there's even this one thing in it where Spider-Man actually captures this woman who just stole some money and brought her back to the place where she took it from, some kind of pizza place. And the woman is there, but she's sorry. She lost her job a few days ago, and she was desperate, and she was sorry, and she's sorry. And then he basically tells the guy who she robbed that, maybe you could just give her a break, and the other I don't think she really meant anything, but she's just in a bad situation. And I'm like, you could have told that story differently. Or it could have been like, maybe she was, or it could have been, maybe he decided, she instead of bringing her back there, she gave him some kind of sub story. He believed that, only to find out later on, she was lying and all that kind of thing. I has to check people. And so he learned this lesson, right? That, he needs to be careful who he trusts. But no, you keep trying to tell everybody what it is they should take away from this without crafting a story to do that. And this is what keeps happening. So yeah, like I said, the story ends up suffering. But overall, those are my top 5 takeaways from episodes 1 to 5 of your friendly neighborhood Walkman. I don't see this thing getting any better. I pretty much see exactly where it's going. And I think we all know where it's going, and I think they know where it's going as well. Because you had the guy who's doing the voice of Spider-Man come down and say, oh well, his biggest concern was that it was going to be woke, and it's not. Yeah, buddy, I don't know what you were doing the voice for, but I can assure you this is extremely woke. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.